Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome back to Football Heritage. That was nearly the name of my channel, wasn't it? Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. Wherever you are, whoever you support, welcome back as Tottenham are very close. Look, like the eyes. We've got the eyes. We're so close to appointing Zerbi on a 5-year contract rumoured to be £12 million a year. What a gig being the Tottenham manager is. It is the best job in the world. You come in, the fans hate you within 6 months, the board shit the bed, you get sacked, and you get a big payoff. What a lovely, lovely job to have. I hope you're all well. Smash the like button. We're going to talk about it. Possibly a here we go soon. I probably would think it will be in the morning. Maybe a here we go soon from our mate Fabrizio Romano. Obviously checking to see if Ornstein says it. When Ornstein says things, it normally means they're going to happen. Zerbi, already. I'm sitting back on this, right? And what I mean by that, by the way, you lot smash the like button. I'm not sitting back on that. Smash the like button. We've been rubbish the last couple of months. Absolutely rubbish at smashing the like button. There are 401 of you and growing, and there are 65 likes. Let me just put it out there very clearly. Any abuse in the chat towards me or towards other people or towards other YouTubers or towards each other in the chat, I will block people. Okay? I will not have it. Thank you very much. Smash the like button. Spurs are getting a new manager. Now, obviously, these things can fall apart, but it does feel in the last 24, 48 hours, it has all really, really got into overdrive, doesn't it, for De Zerbi? And depending on who you listen to and who you read about, some people absolutely hate this as a managerial appointment. Others love it. And then there are those that are right bang in the middle. And we wouldn't have it any other way at Tottenham, would we? We wouldn't have it any other way. I don't understand. There seems to be a lot of hate for him. I don't understand. I don't understand why. There seems to be a lot of love, and I'm not sure about that either. For me, I'm just a bit like, okay, cool, welcome. And let's see how you get on. Let's see how you get on with the board. It's a big old salary. I don't care. It's not my money, right? They're paying him what, 12 million a year? It's not my money. My bigger concern, rather than what they're going to pay him or how long the contract is what I always say to you. Are they going to back him in the summer? If he comes in and says, right, I will take this job, but I want to be able to sack 10, 15 players in the summer and bring new ones in, are they going to turn around and go, yes, we've got your back? Now, the other question you have to ask is, what does this mean for Hang Lang? Is he staying? Is he behind this appointment? Like, we don't know anymore, right? We don't know who's hiring. We don't know who's firing. Is it Lang? Is it Vinay? Is it Butcher? I don't know. Is Charrington pulling weight? Does Charrington know anybody in the football world? So, as always, this is going to be box office, isn't it? It's going to be absolutely box office. Some people say, good. This is the man who's going to take no shit. Fine. We've seen how that works before. Now, he plays the football that the fans like. Yes. Positive tick. Let's put a tick in that box. Has he got the players to play the football that he likes? I'm just asking questions. I'm asking questions. Don't you get annoyed at me. By the way, big up to the sponsors, OK Jersey. They've got all of their 2026 International World Cup shirts are available and all other sporting goods. So get over to OK Jersey and type in code Savva. They got some great shirts. I've just ordered some new ones. I've ordered the Inter Miami pink kit. I like that. I'll be honest, I do. The Netherlands kit, a few others as well. So get over there. The code Savva, SAVVA, you should know by now, for 8% off. And match bingo in the top left-hand corner there. Match bingo, code FHTV, whatever you put in, they will double it. They will double it. So it's a good fun, good game over there. It's a different spin on gambling. If you don't like an ACCA, but you like to play some games where you can win some money, Match Bingo is the place to go. So big up to Match Bingo and FHTV. Yeah, big up to me and OK Jersey. Look, where to start with this one? Right, I'll tell you what, let me just address the elephant in the room. If one more person asked me what happened to the stream last night, the stream's gone. Deal with it. Deal with it. The stream's gone. You shouldn't be worried about it. I'm not worried about it. It's gone. Right? Everyone in the chat, relax. The stream has gone. The stream has gone. Look, where are we? I mean, this is what Fabrizio Romano said, right? This is what Fabrizio Romano said just a little while ago. Actually, about 5 hours ago now. Again, you can pick whichever one you want, but he retweeted one of his tweets with the old egg timers. Said Tottenham pushing, trying to get the green light for Zerbi, always the top target. And we've known that for a long time. A lot of people have said for a long time that Zerbi was the main target. Lots of people said that he wasn't going to. Let me make that a little bit bigger so you can see. A lot of people said that he wouldn't join Tottenham unless it was in the summer. I'm guessing £12 million changes one's mind. I'll be honest, if anyone wants to come to my house and offer me £12 million, I will do any job for £12 million. Yes. But the big question is going to be, they want him now. It looks like they're going to get him now. And before we worry about will he be backed? What style of football is he going to play? Are the players going to like him? We've got a small matter of a relegation battle. Let me just check, by the way. I don't think that Romano said anything else yet. Let's have a look. That was 4 hours ago, 4 hours ago. Good little player, by the way. Good little player, Rafael Guerrero. Newcastle signed someone from Independiente del Valle. Winger Johan Martinez. Here we go. Salzburg. They've signed Jurgen Stolberen for $2 million. Breaking news. Bernardo Silva is going to leave Man City in the summer. And other than that, that's where we're at. That's where we're up to. So if I hear of anything else, I will let you know ASAP. What's he got? I will let you know ASAP. But at the moment, I guess everyone's waiting for that kind of here we go, aren't we? Or we're waiting for that tweet from Ornstein to say that it's happening. What have we got here? Roberto De Zerbi is really, really close. Apparently, Romano has said on his, this might be Facebook or something, but he said, Roberto De Zerbi to Tottenham Hotspur is really, really close. Here we go, expected soon. Spurs really admire his attitude, tactical quality, and connection with players. Spurs also had Marco Silva under consideration, but he is not leaving Fulham. So there you go. So it looks like we could get a here we go very, very soon. Now, selfishly, as a YouTuber, I hope it's right now while I'm live. I've got a feeling it will more than likely be 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Let's be fair. I'll be live tomorrow morning, so don't worry. We'll have you covered. Covered? I can't speak for Toffee. I will have you covered either way, or cupboard. I'll have you covered. Now, it sounds like I'm trying to fight a cupboard, doesn't it? No. So, look, it's going to be an interesting one, right? And I'm seeing a lot of people posting. What you got, Stanley? Okay. What you got? You got something on my mind? You got something on mine? No. The dog's chewing something. I never know. He's already killed 2 sets of ear pods that I've left out. So, yeah. Anyway, look, it's an interesting one, right? There are many people who don't seem to be happy with this appointment, and then there are many that do. And I'm trying to make it work in my head. I'm not sure if we're not getting to that stage, and I've said it for a long time, where everyone seems to want to be offended by everything. Like, lots of people, seem to want to find reasons why this manager's not the right one. And let's be fair, we would have had people that found fault in Poch. They would have found fault in Silva, Iriola. People would have found fault in Xavi Hernandez. People are finding fault in Zerbi. I don't know where we really go. I mean, everyone's got their own idea of what the right man looks like. And I talked about that on my video this morning, right? TalkSport today. Someone said one of the titles was, "Is he the right man for the club?" Well, what does that mean at this stage, right, people? I don't know what that means. Is that the right man to keep us up? Is that the right man to bring back good football? Is that the right man to get us back into the top half? Is that the right man to get us back into the top 6, the top 4? The right man to challenge? Like what are we doing here? I'm just not sure what we're actually doing. I'm really not sure what we're doing. So look, if anyone doesn't want the Zerbi, let's have a look right at the poll. We've put a poll in the chat. The poll is nice and simple. 420 have voted so far, and I've literally said, are you happy with the Zerbi for 5 years? That's the question. Yes is at 52%. No is at 35%. Superb appointment at 5%. And can't stand the appointment is 7%. So that means there's 42% of people so far. Now, out of just over 400 people, what's that? About 180 people so far are not happy with the appointment. This question is to you guys. Why? Why are you not? I'm not judging. I'm just asking. I'm neither here. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm neither here nor there. So why, if he's not the guy for you, why is he not the guy for you? Is it style of play? Is it something else? Are we worried about things that have nothing to do with Tottenham? I'm seeing a lot of noise about things that have nothing to really do with Spurs. And as a football content creator, that's what I care about. I'll be brutally honest with you. I genuinely don't want to get drawn into conversations about I don't want to get drawn into conversations about subjects that don't involve football or Tottenham. That's just me. Each to their own. But so far, I haven't really seen anyone offer a really good reason as to why they don't like him. Equally, the people that love him, why do you love him? Why is it a top appointment? Let's get some of these answers and we'll start reading some of them out. But look, we do know that they're talking about a 5-year contract and £12 million a year. Now, this begs the question, doesn't it? Right? This begs the question. Is it a 5-year contract, but if we get relegated, he can walk away? Because would you, if you were De Zerbi, would you join a club and commit to the 5 years? I mean, look, you can walk away at any point, but commit to the 5 years knowing that you might get relegated. And would Spurs have had a clause in there that says if he goes down into the Championship, he's going to get less than 12 million a year? Because surely people cannot expect us to pay a manager £12 million a year in the Championship. Like, that money just isn't available if you go down. You're only allowed to make a loss as a football club of 15 million if you go down. So I guess we're going to find out, right? We're going to find out in due course. We're going to find out what are the ins and outs of this contract. And that's probably why it's taking so long to get done. Because I'll be brutally honest with you, right? I'll be brutally honest with you. If I was him and his agent, I would be absolutely milking Spurs for everything, wouldn't you? I would be absolutely milking the Tottenham hierarchy for everything, right? For everything. I would be getting this clause put in, that clause put in. By the way, guys, as I've said, it's going to be the last warning. If I see people talking about other YouTubers, you're going to be blocked, right? Please, please, please stop talking about other YouTubers. They are not here. This is my show. Feel free, call me what you want. Stop talking about other YouTubers in my channel. I cannot be any clearer than that. If you want to talk about their opinion on something, knock yourself out, right? If you're going to be rude about them and make assumptions, you're going to be blocked. This isn't difficult, people. We are adults. This is not difficult to behave yourself and talk about football. It really isn't. It really, really isn't. So, as I said, guys and girls, this is going to be very interesting to see what is actually put into this 5-year contract. And I'm guessing, just a guess, I'm not part of it. I'm guessing there are going to be clauses everywhere, right? I'm guessing there are going to be clauses absolutely everywhere throughout this contract. You would, I would, right? The first thing I'd have in the contract, yeah, I'll take the job. If you get relegated, I get to walk away, yeah? Or whatever it will be. Like, I just can't believe that anyone would be that silly to think that they're going to take this job with no clauses in the contract. Now, I don't know how much they've had to pay. Frank was gone. It looks like Tudor walked to, I think, the mutual agreement. Looks like he's not going to get any payout. But again, it's a lot of money that Spurs have spent in the last couple of years on sacking managers and bringing new managers in. This is a lot of money. This is a lot of money. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to get to some comments in a minute as well. It's going to be really interesting. I do feel that I'm seeing a lot of people now are just kicking up a fuss for kicking up a fuss sake. I truly do believe that. I listen. Paul, how you doing, my man? I said we cry for a plan. 5 years to rebuild, no matter how season pans out. Is that not a plan? Well, I guess the difficulty, Paul, is we don't know that is the plan. Giving a manager a 5-year deal doesn't mean we've got a 5-year plan. That's the problem, right? We've hired managers on long-term contracts before, haven't we? Andy, how you doing, my man? Said, I'm just not sure he's the guy for a relegation battle. That's something we're going to talk about a little bit later, right? Is he the guy for a relegation battle? I'll let you guys talk about that. As I've said, all I will say is welcome and good luck. I think he's another victim of Enoch waiting to happen. No way if we got relegated that he would be on 12 million a year. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge amount of money. Joe has said, Savva, it's the timing. We don't have enough games for more experiments. Ideally, he needs a pre-season and a season to bed in. We can't give him that. Well, I mean, there's two ways of looking at that. You're absolutely spot on. But what about the way of looking at it that if he does keep us up, then he's had 7 games to see which players he wants and which players he doesn't. And we can hit the summer running, right? We can hit the ground running in the summer with, right, no, I don't want him, and him, rather than waiting for people to come back from the World Cup to see whether or not he wants to keep them as a player. So look, there are, there are pros and cons. I guess the question is, how much of this is now going to be on the on the players? We talk a lot about managers, but what about the players? How quickly can Zerbi implement any form of philosophy or style? That's going to be the question. Now, then other people are going to rightly say, well, the last 7 games isn't about philosophy and style, is it? The last 7 games is purely about survival. So it's going to be really interesting. What if he doesn't win any of his first 4 games? How are the fans going to react to him? Will they react differently? Yeah. Will they react differently knowing that he's a permanent as opposed to Tudor, who was an interim manager? You know, after 4 games, it was Tudor out, Tudor out, Tudor out. What happens if Zerbi comes in and doesn't win for 4 games and he's on £12 million a year and we might get relegated under, all of these questions. And the problem for me is not about Zerbi. The problem for me is all the decisions Spurs make, right, seem to ask more questions than answers, right? They don't provide many answers. And this is going to be for the club to come out and tell us why they hired him, what the plan is. Now, I guess that's going to be very difficult to do if they, let's say they announce it tonight or tomorrow morning. It's going to be very difficult for them to say, yeah, we're going to fight for the title or we're going to challenge for Europe when in 7 weeks we could be relegated, right? So this is a very, very interesting time. This is a very, very interesting time. We know that he plays good football. We know that he's volatile. What we also know is somebody said that his average tenure at a football club was it 15? Hang on, let me. Someone sent this to me. Where are we? Wow. Okay. So listen to this. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a screenshot and I'll post this. It feels Spursy, right? It feels Spursy, and you'll know what I mean when I send this to myself. So bear with me 1 second. Where are we? 1 second. 1 second. Let's go to my gallery. There it is. Share that to my email address, which I'm not going to give out. There we go. Let's wait for that to come through. And, you know, we're talking about long-term plans. We're talking about 5-year contracts. But the Zerbi isn't a guy that tends to hang around long. And I'm going to show you. Somebody sent me this. And I believe this is somewhat true. So bear with me 1 second. Here we go. Add file. Come on. Quicker. All right, let's see. There we go. So someone sent me this and said, De Zerbi has only lasted more than 91 games at a club once. Half of his club roles have lasted 30 games or less. He didn't hit the 2-year mark with at Brighton or Marseille. And Spurs want to offer him a 5-year deal with 7 games to prevent disaster. Right. Now, make of that what you will. Now, I believe somebody said that his average tenure is 59 games. I believe that his average tenure at a football club is 59 games. Look, I don't know. Listen, these trends are there to be broken, right? Could it, the longest he's been at a club, I believe, was like 130 games or something. Let me bring up the Zerbi again. Let me bring up the Zerbi stats. I believe that the longest he's been at any club is 130 games. I might have made that up. I have. It was actually 120. Again, listen, this might mean something. It might mean nothing. Each to their own. I'm just providing you with some information, right? I'm just providing you with some information. So there you go. You can see that in his career, the longest he's been at any club is for 120 games. And that was at Sassuolo. Is that a concern for you guys? Is that a concern? Do people worry about those things? Do people not? I don't know. I don't know, right? Do contracts mean anything? 5-year contract, 2-year contract, 12-year? What do they actually mean? I'll let you guys talk about that. Look, we can see there that his first role was at Darfo Borio for 22 games. Foggia was foot 91. That was his second longest. 13 at Palermo, where he lost 9 of them. 29 games at Benevento, where he lost 20 of them. Sassuolo, 120 games, then 30 at Shakhtar Donetsk. Brighton, 89 games. And then Marseille, where he lasted 69 games. Look, I don't know if there's a right or wrong system. I'm literally just trying to give you information. I'm not trying to skew opinions either way. I don't have a strong opinion on this myself, right? It's going to be like anything, right? If he keeps us up and we start playing well at the beginning of next season, the board of geniuses. It's brilliant. What an appointment. If he doesn't keep us up, it's, well, this was completely the wrong guy. Why would you do that? He doesn't specialize in relegation. This was never going to work. So it's interesting. My question would be, if I'm looking from the outside in, is why doesn't he last long anywhere? And this is something that I remember being very similar with Ange Postecoglou. When you looked at Ange Postecoglou's tenures at clubs, they were all short, sharp terms, weren't they? I believe that the longest he'd been at a club was 3 years. I don't know. Does that mean anything in this day and age of sacking managers quickly? I don't know. But I'm just giving you some facts and information. Look, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I don't know. I feel like Spurs have knocked the stuffing out of me completely, that I don't know if I've got any feeling at all for anything, right? In terms of, yay, I love that. No, I don't. I'm just kind of like, okay, welcome to the football club. Let's see what you're made of. But I think there will be a lot of fans that have got very strong opinions either way, and we'll see. Let's get to some comments. Grivas said it's an odd choice of manager. And Mark, he's not sure what to think at the moment. It's gonna. I feel like this is going to be another one that's very, very split. I'm guessing a lot of people will be upset that it means that Pochettino is not coming back to Tottenham Hotspur if this happens. Well, not for now anyway. Don't worry. The next time the job comes around, they'll talk about him again. They've actually got his top flight record on the screen. So he got 0.4 points per game at Palermo, 0.7 at Benevento, 1.4 at Sassuolo, 2.6 at Shakhtar, 1.4 at Brighton, and 1.9 at Marseille. I'll leave you to decide whether they're good numbers. De Zerbi didn't leave Brighton in a bad way at all. Okay. De Zerbi, where we go. Don't forget, managing 2 seasons in the Premier League, no European football, and getting kicked out of competitions early only gives you 80 games. Sure. Tammy has said Savva was checking Zerbi stats. He had a win rate of 66% and 57 at Marseille, but agreed he doesn't have much time. Yeah, listen, there's some good win rates in there, without a doubt. I'm just trying to look at cover all angles. That's all I'm doing. Trying to cover all angles. Honestly, the whole Thomas Frank thing taught me that there is no point having a hard and fast opinion on someone. Everyone gets really vile with it. So I'm not anymore. Why did he leave Brighton? I mean, that's for somebody in the chat can tell you why he left Brighton. People with more information that I've got. Well, I guess what we could say is every hire, right, is going to be somewhat risky. There's no exact hire that we think will 100% work. Yeah, people are messaging me. Yeah, look, yeah. I mean, lots of people are saying, right, that it's lots of people are saying that it's crazy. Like, he doesn't last long wherever he goes. But to us, does it matter? Like I don't know. Does it matter to you? Does a 5-year contract matter? Look at the contract length Frank would have had. And these people were all sacked before their actual contracts ended anyway, right? So do we really care? I suppose the risk is more on the club for how much money they're going to have to pay out in compensation when they sack managers. So I don't know if it matters. I'm not sure anymore. Look, we've had every type. We've had every type of manager at this club. I just don't even know. I don't even know what any of this means anymore. Anton said, Savva, does De Zerbi have enough pull to bring quality players? I guess the question is, do Spurs have the pull to bring in quality players from Marseille or Brighton? I think that's the question, right? The question is not about, for me, not De Zerbi. Look, it's always been, can Spurs attract a level of footballer? We're going to find out, aren't we? We're going to find out. Let's have a look at some more comments, shall we? Spurs King, who's always horrible in chat, says, Frank lasted 7 years at Brentford. How did that work out for us? I don't know. Well, we gave the man about 5 months, right? Like, so again, that's the whole point, isn't it? Is, does length of time mean anything? What are people expecting? Like, what are people going to expect from De Zerbi in his first 5-6 months as manager? Next year, what are people going to expect of De Zerbi by January? Is it points on the board? Is it style of play? Is it both? Is it to be fighting for Europe? Like, no doubt, if De Zerbi, listen, whoever comes in, and it's looking like De Zerbi, whoever comes in needs time. I'll say this. I said this for the last manager. I'll say this for this manager and the next manager. They need time. They need time. It needs this for me is not just hire a manager and all changes. This for me is hire a manager and we need 7, 8, 9 for me, we need years and years of transfer windows to get out this squad and replace. That's only my, well, I said it's only my opinion. I think most people would agree that we need to absolutely recycle the squad. I think, and that's many transfer windows, many transfer windows. And I'm guessing, look, De Zerbi's not a silly man. I'm guessing he's sitting in there going, look, it's gonna be a long time. This is a big job. Now the question is this: will our fans wait? And I know the answer. I think most of you know the answer. Loads of people will pretend. Oh, no, but because I like this manager, I'll give him more time. First sign of a bad run, people will shit the bed, and then it all starts to go south. But for me, Spurs are in such a mess that whoever is coming into this football club needs a very, very long time to put it right. Hence, the manager and the director of football. Hence, my question mark as to what does this mean? What does this mean for Johan Lang? What does it mean? Has De Zerbi signed up knowing that Lang is going to be there, that Lang's going to support him? I don't know. We've seen it all. I feel like my 40 years of supporting this club, I just don't know how many more cycles I can go through. Like it's just constant, isn't it? It's churn, just constant churn. We'll see. Evening. Good evening to you, Richie. He said, evening, Savva. De Zerbi too late to turn Spurs around, in his opinion? It's going to be interesting, isn't it? For all we know, right? For all we know, this guy could come in and win the first 3 straight off, and we go, there we go, we're safe. And he'll be the hero and the saviour. For all we know, he could be 4 games down and he's not won a game, and we're all going, oh, see, nothing's going to change. It's, this is an unprecedented situation that we find ourselves in. This is a real unprecedented situation. Such is the number of likes, 274. There's nearly 1,100 of you in here. Can we please sort that out? Come on, let's sort that out and start as we mean to go on. Let's see. We started a super sticker train, have we? Big up, Krista Scorpion Nyland. Thank you, Krista. Lovely name. I love this guy's name. Says, will he get the manager title, or is he just going to be a head coach? Hope he will be a new Poch. Well, again, we'll wait and see. What's the difference these days, right? What's the difference? But if he's a new Poch, it's going to take years. It's going to take years, right? It's going to need a lot of good players for the way he plays as well. Big up, Krista. Thank you so much for that, starting the super sticker train early. For the way he plays, we will need to do a lot of stuff. We will need to do a lot of stuff. This guy plays with his goalkeeper as like a sweeper. Can't do that with Vicario. He can't do that with Vicario at all. Can he do it with Kinski? Please, anyone in the chat, stop spamming. There are a few people. If they listen, you don't need to put the same message in 8 times. I'm not going to read it out. I'm just going to block it. So just calm down with the spamming, please. Let's try and have an adult stream where no one is rude to anyone else and we haven't got trolls. Again, look, I can't see comments that I can't take serious. All managers need time. That's ridiculous. We're a mess. We're a shambles. And again, unfortunately, guys, when you see fans like this, this is why football fans have it's got silly, hasn't it? Managers needing time is overrated. It's we're a mess. We're a mess, mate. I see the things you say in all shows, mate. You're just you're just somebody who you just go at people. I see you all the time, mate. You just go at people, right? And you goad, and I see you in chats. Don't worry, it's you're not rude with it, but you just go at people. It's almost like you haven't grown up yet. You feel that every one of your messages must be funny. It's like just have a football conversation. I see. I can't disagree more. I think we need a lorry load of signings. When we're talking about we don't need a load of signings, I don't know what you're watching. I think we need loads. I think we need absolutely load of signings. I think we need fullback, centre half, centre mids, wingers, strikers. I think we goalkeepers. I think we're really poor right the way across the football pitch. Let's see if I don't know if Lubo's available. Actually, I spoke to him earlier. Lots of people asking for Lubo. 1 second. We'll see if he's available. If he's not, he's not. He's not. So, look, I think this is going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. And people are going to think he's crazy. I think he's mad. I think he's absolutely crazy joining at this stage. But, hey, couple of wins. If one more person asks me, by the way, about quitting YouTube, honestly, I'm just going to start blocking people now. I'm actually just getting really bored of it. It's getting really bored. Stop worrying about it. I'm live. Just stop worrying. Just enjoy the show. It's amazing. Just enjoy the show. Big up to Tom who said, Ange, Frank, Tudor, Zerbi in 12 months. Again, signs of a club that is not run well, right? Sign of a club that's not run well. Any club that is run well doesn't have 4 managers in 12 months. It's crazy, right? But look, this is what happens. This is what happens when you are left with people like Lang and Vinay in charge. This is what happens when Enoch have done what they've done to this football club and taken their eye off the ball for many, many years. So we'll see. Where are we? Let me get to a few more comments. Oh, look, the Super Sticker train has well and truly started. Dean Law, always very generous. Thank you very much, Dean. Really appreciate you with a Super Sticker. Thank you very much. And, of course, always very generous to me as well as DB Forever. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. If you've got any questions, get your questions in. See, again, look, horrible because I don't repeat your opinions like a sheep. See, as I said, guys, this person's one comment away from being blocked. See, this is what I don't like. I don't want anyone repeating my opinions like a sheep. I haven't even got an opinion on Zerbi. But this guy, I see this guy in every chat, and he thinks that everything has got to be a dig at somebody. Everything. It's just so weird. I don't understand those people that never quite grew up. But guys, please, we're starting to get a few trolls in, please. I am just going to block people if people are going to start being silly. Hutchie, yes, Kinski will be starting the Sunderland match. You would think maybe, just maybe though, Austin goes in. Let's see. Now, I think he will play. I think that he will play Kinski, right? I don't think he will play Austin. I think he will go with Kinski. Yes, he played badly against Atletico Madrid, but one game shouldn't determine a player, right? So I guess we're going to see him, and let's see what he does. Maybe he comes in, has a blinder, and we all go, well, fair play to the lad. I'd like to think fans will give time as long as we start with attacking principles. Well, yeah, I mean, we can start with attacking principles, but you've got to build up to that, right? You can't just say go and attack. You've got to have, you've got to have your defense sorted and your midfield sorted as well, haven't you? You can't just attack. But look, we know what the fans are like. We know what we're like as a fan base. We want everything now. So we'll see, right? So you can't give a manager time if you're not getting results. But what do you do if every manager that comes in here, right? Every manager that comes in here doesn't start off well. We go, right, you've not started well. See you later. And you, see you later. See you later. At some point, we're going to have to go through some pain, right? At some point, we're going to have to go through some pain. And I've always said, I don't think this fan base has got the stomach for it. I don't think they realize how bad we are. I don't feel either way about the appointment. I just welcome him to the club and say good luck. As I said, I can't say this anymore. For me, what's more important than the manager is going to be what are we doing with a plan and a director of football. That's going to be the big thing for me. J. Ron, you're going to get blocked. Any more silly comments? Just stop. Just sometimes, yeah. Just relax. Just relax. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Look, I'm interested to see if he takes the first game, if he's in place, which it looks like he's going to be in his first game is Sunderland away. What does he do? What, are we going to go through at the back? I'm guessing we won't. I'm guessing we're going to see a back four. Does he keep the same team for the last 7 games of the season? What's he going to do? Alfred said, Savva, how many players would you keep from this current squad? Not many. Not many at all, to be honest with you. As I've said, it's not so much that I want to get rid of all of them. There's just not many where I'd fight tooth and nail to keep them. There's not many where I'd go, oh my God, you can't sell him. He's amazing. I don't think we've got those players in our squad. I really, really don't think we've got those players in our squad. But listen, as I said, at some stage, we're going to have to give a manager some time to build something. If you keep sacking after 6 months, we're literally just going to be like this for the rest of our lives. Some point, you're going to have to. You got to, right? You've got to. And the problem is I see a lot of younger fans that say that now, like, you don't get time. Yeah, but you need time. Look at Arteta at Arsenal. Wasn't he 8th in his first 2 seasons? So when people are saying you don't get time, well, Arteta did get time, didn't he? And now they're about to win a Premier League title. So big up Lee, who said this isn't a quick fix. Zerbi needs the time. The fans need patience. Yep. Club needs to back the manager, come what may. Yeah, absolutely. We've got to back a manager. We've absolutely got to back a manager. So when we have a fully fit squad, who would you replace in the first 11? Need a striker and a keeper, I think. I would replace the goalkeeper. I'd replace the right back, the left back, the 2 centre halves. I think we need a ball playing midfielder. We need a left winger and we need a striker. So what's that, about 7 or 8 I've just mentioned there? I don't rate this squad. I can do this all day, every day. I think anyone who watches me knows I don't rate many of them. I don't really rate the fullbacks. Now, Zerbi might come in and get something out of them. Sure, that's his job. But for me personally, as fullbacks, I don't really rate them. I think Romero and Van der Ven are massively overrated, like massively overrated. And I think our midfield is pretty much non-existent. So look, doesn't matter what I do though. It's about what Zerbi, if he comes in, it's about what Zerbi will or will not do. Where are we? Yeah, they've got to, right? Mike, they've got to dip their hands in their pockets. They're going to have to. If we stay up, we've got to spend. This squad needs a major overhaul. And I think for those, I can always tell when I'm on a stream, I always know the 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts that are always going to fight against it. But if anyone is watching this squad finish back to back 17th, for example, and then says this squad doesn't need an overhaul, I really do have to question their intelligence, to be honest. I know that sounds horrible. You can't keep performing like this and then saying, Oh my God. If one more person asks me this, I'm going to start blocking people. Please. Can everybody please stop with the whole am I leaving YouTube thing? You're starting to make me not want to do shows. It's really fucking boring. And I've said it a million times. Please, please stop. Right? Please, please stop. It's so boring. Not saying anyone said anything mean or just please, can we just stop it? Again, see, look, he's not learning, is he? You like to dish it out, but then play the victim when you get it back. I'm not playing the victim at all, mate. As I've said, I've never seen you in a show act like an adult. It's not about playing a victim. I see you just riling people the whole time, and you just it's just silly. It's just silly, mate. I see you on every chat you go into, goading and saying silly things. I see you lying about things I've said, and it's like, gotta grow up a little bit, man. But hey, there's always one or two in every stream, isn't there? There's one or two, and Spurs King is always one of them. I see him in every show, but it is what it is. The Big D said Zerbi likes to have a ball-playing goalkeeper. Absolutely, and it's definitely not Vicario. And before the Athletic game, Kinski would have been a shoo-in because he looked decent with the ball at his feet. Well, Vicario's now going to be injured. Yep. Vicario's now going to be injured. So let's see what he does. He might not have a choice. No, he has not joined yet. No, hence why there's the eyes. No, don't worry. There's a thumbnail for when he's joined. There's a thumbnail ready for when he's joined. So look, I don't understand. As I said, for me, I can't wait. I want to see this squad absolutely ripped up and start again. I'm really bored of this Tottenham squad. I'm really bored. I'm really bored for the constant excuses for the players. The next manager will get more out of them. The next manager, the next manager, the next manager. And it's like, how many managers do we have to see with these players before we say this squad was put together? I can't keep saying this. This squad was put together over 6 to 7 different managers. Like, surely we need a squad that at some point is built by one, right? Surely we need a time where we go, right, this manager's been here for 4 years now. This is his squad. He's built a whole squad. Right? Man City's is Pep's. Liverpool for years was Klopp. Arsenal's is Arteta's. All of them. We just got some that are Conte, some that are Jose, some that are Nuno's, some that are Ange, some that are Frank. Like, this is just, it's just crazy at this stage. It really is. We just haven't put anything together at all. This squad is not 17th. Unfortunately, it is. 2 years in a row. So when people keep saying this, unfortunately, it is. The squad is 17th. A squad is not just an 11, right? So it is. People keep saying this, but again, the facts, right? The facts. The facts. Where are we? Let's have a look at some more comments. Let's have a look at some comments. Our whole first choice back five are hopeless. Yes, I include. Look, I don't think it's about hopeless, but I am bored of it. I'm really bored of that back four of Porro, Van der Ven, Romero, and Adogi. For me, too much water. Too much water under the bridge, too many goals conceded, too many different managers they've played under, too much attitude. I just want to see it change up. Now, I'm guessing they're not going to sell all four of them, but I'd like to see some of them start moving on. I really, really, really would. I really, really, really would. Don't forget Vuskovic. Sure, we don't know what's going to happen with him, depending if we stay up, if we go down. Apparently, he wants another loan, so we're going to see, right? We're going to see, yeah. Oh, mate, these people are brilliant in the chat. As you saw, it's difficult when you come on screen. It's the thing is with these people, they're very good with their little comments. They're very good with their little digs and their little comments. You ask them to come on and have an adult conversation, and many of them won't last 5 seconds because they can't actually string a sentence together because everything's funny. But hey, we'll see. Isn't Simmons a quality playmaker? Well, I think he could be. I don't think he is right now. I think he could be. we'll see, right? I think he's the sort of player I would keep, Xavi Simons. But again, it's going to be, what does De Zerbi do? We know that De Zerbi likes to play kind of 2 10s, if you like, behind the striker. And this is the worry, right? And this is the worry. I mean, you can change the name Frank for all of the managers. We said this with Ange. We said this with Frank. We said this with Nuno. We said this with Jose. We said this with Conte. It's it's a lot of this manager. This is different. Things are going to change. The board are changing, and then they never really do. See you later then, mate. See you later. I don't understand. If people put in stupid comments, you're going to go. I don't understand. Right? It's mad. Yeah. Listen, I want a complete overhaul at Tottenham. That's what I want. And Alan, you're absolutely right. Right? Too many people keep saying to me, but this squad isn't 17th, isn't? Well, 2 years in a row it is. People say injuries, but that's called the squad. If this squad plays, this squad has got a 17th. Unfortunately, injuries are part of football. And as I said in last night's show, we didn't learn. We didn't think, we get loads of injuries, let's build out a squad. We just replaced a few injured players. It was just so weird for me. My big worry is the technical capability of the players, Norman. That is absolutely true. And that's going to be something that De Zerbi will work out. Who can play the technical way that he wants to play? When we talk about people, when we talk about styles of play and ethos and philosophy, you've got to have the right players to be able to execute. It's all well and good saying, oh, I like this manager. He plays like this. Sure, but then they've normally got the players to play like that. It doesn't just come naturally to all of these players. Hopefully, yeah, listen, see, now this is one of the players I would not let go at all. This is one of the players I'd be annoyed about if we let go. Players like Kudos. But there are many of them that I just don't care. Just don't care. Awkward observation. Basuma starts to play better under De Zerbi. Well, I think Basuma's going to be going. Savva, knowing the mess that the squad is, where would you start the rebuild? I'd start with a ball-playing midfielder before we do anything else, and then I'd work around it. I'd start with a ball-playing midfielder, a ball-playing goalkeeper, and a ball-playing centre-half. Those are the first 3 things I would put in. We know we needed somebody on the left, depending on how De Zerbi wants to play. And that's the thing. Yeah, and absolutely. And I think this is the difference, right? Is I think sometimes it's okay to acknowledge that you like a player, but they're not at that level yet. Right? Rather than waxing lyrical about them, it's okay to say, yeah, I like this player. I like this player, but needs time. And I feel like too much, especially in YouTube, it feels like you're not allowed those conversations without silly people dropping in. It's okay. Like, not everyone has to be amazing or shit. There are some players who are going to be good for different managers. Good for different systems, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll get to as many comments as I can tonight. Savva, what are your thoughts on rebuilding with a manager like De Zerbi who could blow and get the sack anytime? Well, look, I mean, that's what they've decided to do, right? That they know this guy's mentality, and they've decided to go for him. So, look, I get it. There are people that are truly worried that this could end in disaster. But when was the last manager that didn't end in disaster? Right? Lubo's going to come on in 20 minutes. Lubo's going to come on in 20 minutes. Let's just see. There we go. I guess copy. Not going to have loads of people on. It gets silly. That's me. I can't email. I was trying to email it to myself. So look, I understand the perspective that people are coming from, where they say, "Oh, this is all going to end in tears." Doesn't it always end in tears? Doesn't it? Doesn't it always end in tears? Again, see, what I said about people saying, I don't think anyone's protected him from what? I thought I thought he started the season brilliantly. Then I think teams worked out that he was our only outlet, and he got blocked out of games. I'd like to see him in a team that's balanced, in a settled team. I really would like to see that. I think he's a good footballer, but I don't think anyone's protecting him. I don't know when people say this. It's like when you talk about a player and you say, "Oh, they had a bad game." Oh, there's always a scapegoat. What? Because you say a player had a bad game? Like, doesn't mean you. Someone said to me the other day, "Do you rate Sarr?" I said, "I really don't." Oh, he's the scapegoat. Like, scapegoat for what? Just don't rate him as a player. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's always the same people in it that say, isn't it? It's like it's always Ringo or Plasma TV or Spurs King One. They've all got these silly little comebacks for everything. Like, it's crazy. I would love this as a signing. I would absolutely love this as a signing. I think he's a really good player. I think he's a good defender. He's got good pace on him. He's good with a ball at his feet. I would absolutely. Now, maybe we could look at, I think I did this the other day. Let's look at this. I think this was, continue with recommended cookies. So let's have a look at Van Heck. Where is it? Van Hecker and Vuskovic. And I think, if I wasn't wrong, they kind of filled out. Yeah, look, this is Van Hecker and Vuskovic, right? This is these two together on the data MB. I mean, look, it kind of gives you everything, doesn't it? It kind of gives you anything. Now, for anyone wondering, Van Hecker is in the blue and Vuskovic is in the pink. I mean, when you look at that, look, they've kind of, between them, they've filled out the entirety of the circle, right? They filled out the entirety of the circle. That, for me, could be a very interesting centre-back pairing. Now, is Vuskovic ready? I don't know. I'll let other people make that decision. That will be down to Zerbi and if we stay up. But for me, that will be a very, very interesting pairing. We'll see, right? We'll see. We'll see. I just think that's interesting. That's all. As I said, let's go there. There you go. I think that, I think Romero has his great games. I think Van de Ven has his great games. I think as a partnership, they're very rash. I think as a partnership, they're very rash. I think there's far too many mistakes in both of them. I don't think there's a lot of composure between them. So I'd be more than happy to see a new centre-back pairing next year. I've seen enough of this. Now, this is a good player, by the way. I like Hayden Hackney. But will he satisfy the Spurs fans? I quite, whenever I've watched him, I've been quietly impressed. I think the difficulty will be, will he, will he hit the ground running if he goes into the Premier League, whether that's with Middlesbrough getting promoted or whether it's a club buying him. I can't imagine either way he'll be in the Championship next season. Doesn't offer a goal threat. He dribbles into blind alleys. Let's see if he doesn't offer a goal threat, shall we? Let's see. Mohamed Kudus doesn't offer a goal threat. In 19 league games, he got 7 GA. I mean, it's not the end of the world, is it? When we're saying he dribbles into blind alleys, I don't think that's quite true. But hey, each to their own. Each to their own. Got to remember as well, this year, when we were playing him, we had no left winger. So everyone kept giving the ball to Kudus on the right wing. I would be very interested to see what happens when you've got Kudus on the right, somebody on the left. Maybe Kudus comes centrally. Maybe him and Simmons playing that kind of double number 10 that De Zerbi likes to play. I don't know. I think we need everything. Yeah, I think we need everything in this club. I've been very vocal about this. I don't know why people are still surprised. I'm very vocal about this. People can keep sticking up for these players, but when you're 17th 2 seasons in a row, you have to ask questions. Romero's played a lot of those games. Van de Ven's played a lot of those games. So has Bentancur, so has Porro, so has Adogi, so has Solanke, so has Richarlison. Like a lot of football these boys have played in the last couple of years, and they're 17th. So for me, I'm happy. Whatever the new manager wants to do and rip up, I'll get behind it, and let's see what they make of it. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, so now imagine him with a clinical. Exactly, Ellie. Listen, I think Kudus is the least of our problems. I think Mohamed Kudus is the least of our problems. People say he offers no goal threat. I mean, it's concerning when people they can go and look at the data, right? Like he does. He does. So hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hackney over Wharton. Look, I think Adam Wharton's a wonderful footballer for me. Um, he would absolutely walk into most teams. Adam Wharton. I think he's going to be wanted this summer. I truly believe he's going to be wanted by some big clubs this summer. We'll see. Jason, he thinks that Zerbi will last 4 to 5 games before he falls out with players on the board. Well, let's at least make it through to the end of the season. I agree, Pala. I agree. 7GA with and I don't think. See, this is the problem. People like Ringo, I see it every show with Ringo. Context is he was the one player that 3 men on him every game because people realised very quickly, right? Get the ball. They realised if you nullify Kudus, you nullified Spurs, right? Now, what would happen if we were actually a settled 11 with threats all over the pitch? Yep. We'll see. Agreed. And this is why these players for me have had so much protection. I see so much. They're better than this. They're better than this. They're better than this. They're better than this. Absolutely, Anne. Listen, how much we've missed him, by the way. How much we've missed Kudus. Like, look at the lack of goals and assists and creativity from the wide men since Kudus has gone out. It just beggars belief just a little bit, doesn't it? When people are talking as though he's one of the issues. He isn't at all. Senesi is on a free transfer. That's going to be an interesting one. Someone's going to take him. Yeah, of course. And this is the problem I have, right? Like, if I'm sitting here backing a player like Kudus, and then people want to have a go, they're the same people that will tell me, these are the same people that will tell me that Odeber's good or that Tell's good and offers threat. And it's like, okay, cool. If you want to back them, but you can't back Kudus, that's crazy for me. That's really, really crazy for me. Come correct said a big year for Wharton, definitely. Yeah, listen, I've got a feeling there's going to be some big football clubs wanting him this year. I reckon the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea. I reckon a Man United might be looking at him as well. I think I think that he's a top player, Adam Wharton. He's just got a really nice way about him in midfield. His passing, he makes it look effortless. He's always in space. He's my type of footballer. He really is my type of footballer. He is. Well, yeah, they actually got him last summer, didn't they? Actually got him last summer. Who is this account, by the way? Who is this? Who is this buffo? Oh, how we laugh. Here we laugh. We haven't won a league game without Kudus. Is that true? Yeah, that's true. There you go. We've not won a league game with Kudus. Does anyone know of the 7 league games we won? Did Kudus play in all of them? There's a question for somebody. There's a question. Let's see. He was awful for West Ham in their last relegation scrap. Okay, cool. But he's not been at Spurs during a relegation scrap yet, has he? So we'll see. I just think as well. Yeah, sure. But I think Kudus, we've seen years where he's been good. And I think Kudus will, if you get him in a forward three that works, get him in a proper front three. But again, we can't keep putting players in and around poor players and going, why aren't they doing it on their own? Same with Xavi Simons, by the way. I'd like to see a run of games where Simons and Kudus are allowed to link up together. I don't know how many times we've seen it where both of them, where Xavi is a 10 and Kudus is on the right wing. I'd be very interested to see the stats on that. We'll see. Anderson and Tonali will go United. Yeah, there are lots of reports today that Tonali is wanted by Man United. Look, these clubs have the pull, right? These clubs have the pull. And players like Tonali will want to go there. No. His passing is very good. His passing is very good. I remember. I mean, look at him when he came to White Hart Lane. I think before the goal, when we went 1-0 up, Palace had something like 84% possession or something. It was crazy. Like they just had all of it. Absolutely crazy. For me, I want to see, big up Andy, I want to see a new number one, 2 fullbacks and a centre back. I think that a real strike's the priority for me. We have created chances. We just don't convert them. I disagree. I don't think we have created a lot of chances. I'm going to respectfully disagree. I think we need a proper left winger. But depending on how De Zerbi wants to play, right? Maybe he goes to the 2 false 10s behind the striker. Maybe. I don't know. But I agree with you. I think we need a number 1, 2 fullback, centre back. I completely agree with you on that. It's always the same select few. As I said, they just can't. I don't know if they didn't get enough attention or they just can't seem to just behave for more than 10 minutes at a time. Senesi, Van Heck, Stiller, and listen, I'd love those. Listen, these are 4 serious signings I would like to make. I think Senesi's a good centre half. Van Heck is as well. Stiller's the ball playing midfielder. Diogo Costa's the goalkeeper. I think you start making signings like that. Suddenly, I think we look a little bit better, don't we? Or a lot better. Start building around those types of players. I agree. I completely agree with you. I'd take all 4 of those in a heartbeat. Yeah, I'd take all 4 of them. Where are we? Adam Wharton linked with Spurs when at Blackburn. Another example of poor scouting. I completely agree with that. You think we must have scouted Blackburn a lot because we actually signed Ashley Phillips, and in front of their eyes the whole time was Adam Wharton, and he went for what, 25 million to Palace. Really good player. Really, really good player. Savva, how is Mawani in the French? I have no idea. I think he has been absolutely awful this year. One of the worst signings I think we've made. I think he's been absolutely dreadful. If I'm not wrong, has he got one? Let's have a look. Kolo Muani. What's he got? Kolo Muani. Again, another person I see constantly getting defended. I mean, 23 league games and 1 goal. I mean, you'd be upset if Dane Scarlett had stats like that, right? And absolutely. Now, this is another interesting point. Imagine you had Kudus on the right, Son on the left, Kane in the middle, those 3 linking up and counter-attacking. It changes the complexion completely, doesn't it? It really, really does. I saw this as well today. Yeah. Lots of people talking about this lad, Nicolo Trasoldi from Bruges. And I'll tell you what, I would just have a Spurs scout permanently watching Club Bruges games. They just, it is what it is. Here we go. Kudus, 19 matches, 12 wins, 4 draws, 3 losses. Is that true? Only 3 losses? Really? That does surprise better than I thought. But hey, it is what it is. What left back would you go for? Listen, I suppose it depends on how De Zerbi wants to play, but I like that Nathaniel Brown. I like Anthony Robinson of Fulham. I think he's a really good player. Reezy chats, does De Zerbi? Again, the question has got to be, does Tottenham have pulling power? I don't think it's so much about De Zerbi. And made you think these players are good? No, I don't think they're good. I don't know. I don't think they're good. I think you've not been listening to a thing I've said. And didn't make me think they're good. No one will. I think there's a few good ones. Savva, did you see that Kulu, while being injured, 3 managers have come through the door? De Zerbi comes in, it will be the 4th, and Kulu would have only played under 2 of them. Sure. Well, Kulu didn't play under Frank or Tudor or De Zerbi, right? So he would have only played under 1 of them at the moment. But, well, yeah, get it. It's crazy, mate. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, what's happening? Oh, come on in, mate. Come on in. Go into your bed. Good boy. Good boy. Stay with me. Come on. Come in here. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. You staying in with me. Have a little bit of time away from that annoying puppy. Right. Where are we? Let's do some super chats. We'll come back to these in a minute. And Lubo will be joining us soon. Big up to Andy Lester. To big up Sav. Let's hope this is the start of good times. Mate, every time we bring in a new manager, I hope it's the start of good times. And Spurs just seem to piss about. I really hope so. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate you. The super sticker train is in full flow. Molo said, how many games before Van der Ven and Spence blank Zerbi? Well, look, again, some of their behaviour has been absolutely atrocious. And fans go, oh, see, the manager, they don't respect him. But if the players don't respect themselves to act properly, you have to question the players as well, right? Can't just blame everything on the manager being disrespected. Big up to you, Molo. Really appreciate that. Big up to Mark Swift with a super sticker. Thank you very much, Mark. Look at these generous people flooding in with the super stickers. Thank you very much, buddy. Really appreciate that. Big up to the Big D with the super sticker. Thanks, Big D. I hope you are well, my man. Always nice to see you. Thank you very much, buddy. Big up to the Rage Meisto. Said, Zerbi got cast iron transfer guarantees before joining. Well, this is the thing I'm going to talk about when Lubo joins. This is what I'm going to talk about when Lubo joins, because we talk a lot about what must the manager have been promised before they come, but how many managers have come and go, and we have no idea of knowing what the promise was because we're so badly run and we're so bad in the market. But you'd like to think so, right? You'd like to think. I'm going to leave this here for when Lubo joins us. So I'll come back to that. Big up to Jamie. Thank you very much, Jamie. Very generous, my man. Says half of these players won't last under Zerbi. Can you imagine Basuma turning up late to training under Zerbi? He'd be dead. Well, look, sure. And I guess that's where some of the discipline needs to be instilled, right? And the players that don't conform, the manager needs to get rid of. But what I would say is this. What fans can't do is if a new manager comes in and says, right, he's going, right? Right, hang on. Let's get rid of this. Sorry. Let me just get rid of that guy if I could. There we go. What we can't do is if a new manager comes in like Zerbi and starts going, I'm going to sell him, he's going to go, poor attitude. Our fans then can't be upset. Oh, I can't believe he's getting rid of him. We've got to let the manager make the decisions, right? We've got to let the manager make that decision. So, yeah, big up to you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. And also big up to the Sporting Journey who became a new member. Good evening to you, my friend. Thank you so much. And we will have a members only show, I believe, on Wednesday or Thursday this week. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday this week. Yeah. So you're more than welcome to join those now. So thank you very much. And Lubo will be joining us shortly, by the way. It's always nice to see Lubo. Beware of Belgian league forwards. That's all I'll say. Yeah, I mean, look, we can say this for any league, but, you know, what about all the ones that do work, right? Keys Schmidt is a player. A few people talking about Keys Schmidt, aren't they? A big up to you. Future Music Sounds, old school account. Love it. What do I think of Zerbi's style? Yeah, I've got nothing wrong with Zerbi's style of play at all, as long as he's not wide open at the back. But more than his style of play, the first concern is going to be, are they going to give him players to play his style of play? And more than that, are we going to stay up so that we can see it? There's a question, right? Kudus has 7 losses in the Premier League. And what did he play? 19 games. Interesting. Big up to the Sheriff. How you doing, mate? He said all our squad issues are thanks to Enoch. Hashtag Enoch out. Yeah, no, I agree. Listen. Look, Enoch, Vinay, Levy, Lang, Paratici. I think, somewhere in there they've all built this squad together, haven't they? And it's not for my liking. Savva, don't worry. I was told you got world class Romero. Oh, God, Romero. Oh, Romero. Here we go. Zerbi left Brighton because he didn't get the players he asked for. Well, I'd be interested to see, is that true? Is that true? Did he definitely? I don't know. By the way, yeah, Jamie, absolutely, mate. I would absolutely love Anthony Robinson. See, now that's the sort of player you look at and you go, I know what I'm getting. Yeah, I think he's got a really good engine. He gets a lot of assists. He gets to, look at him and look at Adogi. It is night and day, isn't it? It is night and day. Yeah, listen, I'd love Locatelli. I'm not sure. I'm not sure Spurs can attract a Locatelli from Juve at this stage. We'll see. But yeah, I listen. I've said this. I've said this many a time. We've got to buy a ball playing midfielder, whether it's Locatelli, whether it's Wharton, whether it's Stiller. Somebody of that ilk needs to come in. Got to. And I think Zerbi, if he comes in, will. I mean, he likes good technical footballers, right? He did. That's I'll say. You haven't missed anything, Steve. You haven't missed anything. We've been talking about all things De Zerbi and how we're going to play and what players we could get, but he hasn't signed on the dotted line yet. So maybe it'll be tonight, maybe it'll be tomorrow. And everyone knows as soon as he does, I will be jumping on live on the stream. I would make Van Heck my number one target anyway, Phil. I'll be honest. I'd get him in anyway. I think he's a really good player. Again, it's going to have to be the sort of player that De Zerbi wants. Where would you rate De Zerbi against other current Prem managers? Well, he's good, isn't he? He's a good Premier League manager. He's got experience. I don't know. It's a tough question to answer. No, in the sort of same bracket as an Eddie Howe, maybe. I don't know. Not necessarily for style of play, but maybe an Irio. I don't know. That's a tough question to answer, to be honest. Tough question to answer. Glenny Hoddle, said, other problem is that we are just terrible at getting rid of players. Now, this is a huge, huge, huge problem. We are so bad at getting players on. By the way, is that Germany game on? Is there any football on? I don't think there is. No. Nothing on TNT, nothing on Sky. Nope. Oh, I got anything on Sky? 1 second, bear with me. No, absolutely not. I just seen that it is Germany 1, Ghana 1. Fatawu has just equalised, and Havertz got the Germany goal. This is a great point. We are dreadful at getting rid of players. We are dreadful at getting rid of players, and this is something that's really got to improve. Yeah, Bastoni. Oh, can you imagine? We don't sign players like that. But why would players like that want to come to Tottenham? Our 11 next season: Coyote, Vuskovic, Van Hecker, and Robinson. Stiller, Gallagher, Madison, Kudus, Solis, Solanke. I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than we've got now, right? We'll see, man. Let's see what happens in the summer. Let's see what happens. Savva, would you mind spending 1 year in the Championship to refresh the squad? Yeah, I would mind. I don't want to go down. I don't know. I would not want to go down. I think that most Premier League clubs should be capable of refreshing the squad without needing to get relegated to do it, right? Just saying. I mean, look at Newcastle over the last 4 or 5 years. Look at Villa. These clubs have freshened their squad, changed it up, and they didn't need to go relegated to do it. So the Germany game is on TV. Where is it? Where on TV? ITV4, somebody's saying. Is it? Is that made up? ITV4 is Top Gun. ITV3, ITV2, it's not on anywhere. Who was winding me up? Oh, I don't know. Let's go back to Sky Sports News. People talking about Garner in the chat. He's had a good year for Everton. I quite like him as a player, Garner. I quite like him. I think in the right setup, he could be a really good player. He's coming on leaps and bounds. Anderson, I'd love an Anderson. I can't imagine Spurs will get him in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, Van de Ven or Tapsoba, who would you prefer? If I want out and out defending, I want Tapsoba, right? Van de Ven, if I want the pace. I think for me, Mickey Van de Ven's got a lot to prove in his career. I think a lot of people went very early with Mickey Van de Ven because of his pace. And there's a huge difference between having a lot of pace and being a really good footballer. That's what I'll say. There's a huge difference between being a good footballer, being a good defender, and having a lot of pace to get you out of trouble. For me, listen, I'm not saying they're both going to leave Van de Ven and Romero, but I wouldn't mind seeing something new. You know, oh, it's on Amazon Prime. Yeah, I can't bother to go over to Amazon Prime to watch that. I don't think I can. I don't think I can do another year of Van der Ven and Romero at centre half. It just feels like, oh, I wouldn't mind, but I've never seen them as a great partnership. Just for me, that's only for me. Where are we? Let's have a look. Spurs no longer have pulling power. Well, this is the question: do we? If we do, to what level? We've got pulling power, but to what level? We'll see. Women of the Lane, proud Lily Whites and Spurs Reach criticised the potential appointment of Zerbi. Women of the Lane said Zerbi has publicly defended Greenwood in a way that downplays seriousness of male violence against women. Well, no, he didn't. I've read the statement and he didn't. That raises a serious question about judgment and leadership, and that is not an appointment Spurs should make, said Women of the Lane. I've seen the comments Zerbi make, and I don't think he did that at all. We're asking for leadership that reflects values that this club claims to stand for. No to Zerbi. Interesting. We all want the club to progress, but it must do so in a way that reflects its values. No to Zerbi. I don't think they want Zerbi. I'm just reading between the lines. Listen, I've seen the comments. I don't think he did do that at all. I think he was just talking about one of his footballers and said that he's a good lad and a good footballer. I don't think he's going to say anything different, is he? I don't know. I don't know. Each to their own. I think a lot of people have got hard and fast points on that. I think I'm annoyed that I actually brought that up. I feel like it should just be about football. But yeah, look. I think the difficulty is right. I think the difficulty is when you have got when you are the manager of a football club, when fans think that a manager's going to come out and publicly criticize his players, I feel like, why would we think that? Why would we think that? Isn't it the manager's professional thing to do to put a positive spin on a player? I don't think that he was asked specifically. I don't know, but well, this is the worry, right? This is the worry. Is he going to split the fan base? I mean, for me, I've got no worries with him coming in. My worry, as always, is are the owners going to back him? And if Lubo ever turns up, he's got a funny idea of 20 minutes, but we'll see. Reese has said, based on our squad now, Savva, if everyone was fit, what would your starting 11 be? I'll come back to that in a minute, Reese. I'll come back to that. Good evening, Lubo. How are you, sir?
All good, you?
Yes, very, very, very well. I was just lots of Spurs chat everywhere at the moment, Lubo. Talk Sport and Sky Sports and this, that, the other. We are closing in, Mr. Lubo, on.
Yeah. Did you advertise it as just the two of us? Because I see Tom Kingham has put Lubo on the comments.
Oh no, I didn't advertise it with you. People were asking for you earlier, which is when I messaged you. Look, we are close, right, to appointing Zerbi. All the signs are pointing that way, right? It feels like this has been their number one target. We're close to appointing him. I'm going to ask you right off the bat. I mean, we obviously we have a private phone calls where I know certain things that you think, but is this guy immediately going to, without him even knowing it, is this going to split the fan base down the middle for one reason or another?
I think it's last chance saloon, isn't it? And when you look at it, I was on the show a couple of days ago and yesterday, and it was like, well, who have you got? You're going to go for the old Spurs legends that haven't managed for 10 years. I mean, I personally wanted to see Harry Redknapp with Sherwood back. Or do you go down the Dyche Allardyce firefighting route? At the time, Zerbi didn't want to know. He turned us down before we appointed Tudor. So you're now in a position where they've gone back to him. They didn't want either of the other alternatives. They've gone back to Zerbi, and it looks, and they've offered him a shed load of money. And he's looked at it, 12 million. Am I going to get that elsewhere? Probably not.
It's a big old payday, isn't it? It's a very
It's a massive payday.
Is that 60 million over 5 years? Is it?
If he lasts 5 years, I suppose.
Oh, sure, yeah, sure. But if you get your payoff right, depending on clauses, it's not a bad gig, is it?
I suppose it's 5 years on top of the seven matches, because normally managers' contracts start July the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. You got 7 games in, you got 5 years. I suppose with caveats in there. I suppose there are release clauses if Spurs go down. Who knows?
Yeah.
What do you want to say if Spurs went down? Football's changed an awful lot. Birkinshaw joined first year, went down, brought him back the second year, went on and won 3 trophies in 4 years. Football's changed since then. So, would he want to stay? Who knows? Don't know. I suppose if he's being paid what 230 grand a week, I suppose you're going to stay, aren't you?
It works out to about 240 grand a week, doesn't it? 12 million a year. That makes him the highest paid person at Tottenham Hotspur, right?
You must do.
Yeah. See, I've got no problem with that. Like, I know people talk a lot about. I was watching earlier. Big up to the two Marks. I was watching the two Mark show, and they were talking. Not just those two. There was lots of people on the panel talking about 12 million. And I'll be honest. Look, the 12 million isn't mine. I bloody wish it was, Lubo, because if I had 12 million pounds, I wouldn't have to come on here every day and talk football. But the 12 million for me isn't the problem, because I'm call me old school. I believe the boss should be the best paid. Call me old school. I believe that he should be the man where people are going, hang on, he's the guy. I guess the question that most fans are going to have, Lubo, and anyone who doesn't have this question, I don't know where they've been living for the last 20 odd years. We have had so many new eras, right? We have had so many new eras, right? That it's difficult, isn't it, to get excited for yet another one? Like, I'm not trying to be negative on Zerbi, but it's very difficult to think, well, this time will be different and this time will be different.
I think we have that conversation after the Everton match. I think it's just about survival, and all the other questions about what can he bring, where can he take us. I think at the moment he's just got to keep us in the Premier League. That's forget about taking us anywhere.
Well, isn't that the one question at the moment, Lubo? Like, loads of people. I saw somebody sent me an X post earlier, and it was like all these questions about Zerbi and Lang moving forward. And I thought, surely the first question at the top of that list should be, will he keep us up? Like that's got to be the only thing that we address in the immediacy, right? Is Premier League safety.
Look at the way he plays. He likes 2 quick fullbacks.
Yeah.
So you would imagine that he'll be playing Spence and Udogie. He likes to play 2 10s behind one centre forward, and get the fullbacks wide and pushed up supporting. So if you're looking at 2 10s, who are you looking at? You're looking at the moment Simmons and Kudos, maybe Maddison coming back in early May if he makes it back for the last few games, in which case you'd switch Kudos wide. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I still think we'll stay up. I think it'll be close, but I think we've got enough there, and he won't stand for nonsense. He's not going to have the dressing room run by Romero. He'll come in. He'll be the boss. So from that element, it's a good thing, and hopefully there'll be some discipline, and there'll be players with the right mindset going out there, because it's at the end of the day, it's down to the players. There's only so much he can do in terms of putting in tactics and a system. Round pegs in round holes, like Carrick did. But put him into a system. Say, right, this is how you're going to play for the next 7 games, and get on with it. And then the personnel's down to him on a match by match basis, based on who is available, who's playing well, who's coming back from injury. So that's
something like that.
That's how I see it.
Something like kind of that.
Well, I think it will be more like a Christmas tree, a 4-3-2-1.
So you want the yeah? This is the 4-3-2-1. What I've done is I've just moved the fullbacks up a little bit and Paulinho back into cover. But what De Zerbi does a lot of, and reading a lot about this today, is he kind of uses the goalkeeper. Forget who it is on this screen. He kind of has the goalkeeper there so that these guys can go up. Right? Yeah. He has the goalkeeper there so that everyone can kind of shuffle up the pitch a bit. Do you know what I mean? And then he has that. So he kind of has the centre forward, the one dropping in and letting these two run off. But look, it will be nice to see something different, right? I just, I don't. Hopefully, we don't see the back three returning. I don't know about you. I'm not really a back three type of guy unless you've got the specialist to play it. But listen, he's got. We're assuming it's him, and obviously I'll be doing another show when he finally gets hired. But does it give you? You're going to Sunderland, right? You're going. And I know the answer to this question because you told me earlier, but does it give you more excitement going to Sunderland knowing that it's De Zerbi and not Tudor?
Oh God, I think if it had been Tudor, I think it's that helplessness. You're going knowing that you're going to watch a battering. It was a bit like going to Anfield last year for the second leg of the semi-final. You knew we were going to get hammered, and it's you go there just in case a miracle happens, just in case it's that once every 20-year result that you're going to get, a bit like Chelsea at the Bridge when Delhi scored 2 that day, and we haven't won since. So no, I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. I think they'll go there now. I think he'll fire them up because his attitude will be, I want people that show the same passion as I do, and if you don't, there's the door. And he won't care if players rail against him. If he doesn't get players with the right attitude and the right mindset, he'll drop them. And it won't matter to him whether it's Romero, Van der Ven, Gray, Gallagher, whoever. He will drop whoever it is that doesn't fit in with how he wants to play, which is what we need, because it's been a joke. I mean, Frank was too weak. You saw Van der Ven and Spence ignore him when they walked off. It was, and if you're getting that level of disrespect in front of everybody, in front of 60,000, then what must it be like behind closed doors?
Yeah. So,
it's been a complete mess behind the scenes, I think, all season. And I think Paratici actually said that he went to Vinay and told him in November, after spending a day at the club, at the training ground, seeing what went on, and just said, the players had no respect for Frank. Time to go. And Vinay Woodlange carried it on, and unfortunately, I think it carried on too long. And it's, it's that goal that Callum Wilson scored in the last minute has changed the whole season, has changed the whole back end of the season. If that hadn't have gone in, we'd be 4 points clear of them, and that's still a nice buffer with the goal difference is 2 matches in 2 games in 7, and that's, I think, that result more than anything has put us under pressure, because that gave West Ham
that felt like a pivotal moment, didn't it? The West Ham goal. It did. That
started their run. Although I am hearing that Somerville's got a worse injury than has been mentioned, and he won't be coming back anytime soon. So we'll see. And obviously,
that's good news for us because he's a good player.
I think there's also West Ham. I've read in the papers quite a bit recently that there's a lot of PSR issues. That they've got to be selling players in the summer. So there must be a lot of uncertainty at the club. Players not knowing if they're going to be there or not next year. Not under normal conditions, but because of PSR. So I just think we'll stay up. It'll be close, but I do think that you've got if he signs, it's not done till it's done.
Yeah, of course.
If he does sign, then you've got a current manager, as against the choice of firefighters or managers that haven't been in the game for many years.
Yeah.
So I suppose from that aspect, although it didn't work with Tudor, and to me it didn't work with Frank, it didn't work with Ange, at least you got somebody who, I mean, he came in, he took Marseille up to second place, I think, in the French league. So
are you worried at all by his lack of tenure at each club?
No,
because the
only thing that's important at the moment is him keeping us up.
Sure, but okay, so forget that. Let's say we stay up. Let's just pretend we're really comfortable right now. We stay up. Is this a worry that, you know, there's only one club in one club in 8 where he's managed over 100 games? Is that a concern?
Well, I mean, Marseille was 69, wasn't it? Is it a concern? Yes. Listen, if you're in the recruitment game and you're looking at two people's CVs and you see a CV like this, and you've got someone like Frank who's been at Brentford for 9 years, and you're looking for somebody with stability that's not going to jump from job to job, you're going to go for Frank, aren't you? Normally, you know, all I'm worried about at the moment is staying up. And if he gets us playing in an organised, structured way, and if the nonsense that we've watched, the rubbish we've watched for 3 years, gets stopped, and we're playing proper football now, and we're playing grown-up football, not this rubbish that we've been watching, and he's got players giving 100%, the whole team, and they're playing in a decent way, and he likes to attack. You know, had he come in after Ange, then that would have made more sense in terms of how you want to set up. Because although Postecoglou was way over the Richter scale in terms, because there was no defence, at least with De Zerbi, he wants to play an attacking style of football.
Sure.
So we've gone from Ange to Frank to Tudor and now to De Zerbi in the space of 12 months, and everything we talk about, you know, the systems and the style of play changing. I mean, these players must be dizzy, to be honest, being asked to play all different ways and being played out of position, and it's been chaos. It has been chaos. So hopefully, it's only 7 games. He can bring a little bit of nous, bit of know-how, bit of stability to the club. And you know, you go to Sunderland, you dig out a result. You sort of go out and you dig out maybe a 1-0 or a 2-1. All of a sudden, the landscape changes, and you're going into the Brighton game with much more confidence. So,
well, that would be interesting, wouldn't it, against his old club? But again, I think the interesting thing with De Zerbi is there was lots of conversation, wasn't there, that, you know, he wasn't going to join because he wanted, you know, assurances that we were going to be. This guy's relentless. I see this guy on every channel I go in. I will sadly unsubscribe tomorrow once you leave, Savva. Sad to see you go, mate. Jesus Christ. All right. See you later, Spurs Digest. See you later. I'm not going anywhere at the moment, but see you later. Thank you.
You'll see him back on Wednesday.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's honestly, he must have put in about 9 messages. I thought I'd humour him on that one. I see him in other chats just constantly having a go, but it's fine. Anyway, yeah, look, we were told that De Zerbi had originally turned us down because he wanted assurances we were going to be in the Premier League. He's now obviously changed his mind and staying. How do you think that plays out, the fact that De Zerbi is someone that notoriously starts slow, building his philosophy, implementing his style? How do you think that pans out now that we are in a relegation battle? You know, what are we expecting to see? Because surely we've all said go back to basics, dig in, just fight and grind. But that's not really De Zerbi's MO, is it? So this should be interesting, right?
I think the advantage he's got over Tudor and Frank for most of this season is he's got about 21 full professionals to pick from against Sunderland.
That is true. Yeah.
Subject obviously to players not getting injured during the international break. So he can pick his team. He's got cover. He's got a strong bench. You know, listen, he's got players you could play in that first team. You know, on the on the substitutes bench, the only place we're weak for Sunderland is in goal, because unless Vicario makes some sort of miraculous 3-week recovery or 20-day recovery from an operation, you're going to be looking at. And I figure if he likes players who play with their feet. I don't know about Austin. I know Austin had 2 decent games for us, but Kinski, apart from Madrid, is better than Vicario with his feet. So I figure he'll go with Kinski for that one. And you look at it. You've got a choice now. If he plays a back four, I think he'll start with Spence. He's got Porro there that he can bring on. He starts with Udogie. He's got Sousa to bring on. He's got Romero and Van der Ven. He's got Danso and Dragusin in the background. You go into midfield. Paulinho is a 6 on his own. You've got Gallagher and Gray, who I figure he'll start with as well. He's got Sarr and Basuma to bring on. Or you go up front. He's got Solanke, and you've got Richie or Kolo Muani. And I think if Kudus is fit and he's going to play two 10s, then I'm sure he'll play Kudus with Xavi Simons. So you look at, he's got cover. He's got people to bring on off the bench that he hasn't had. You look at the bench against Liverpool. He had 2 keepers, 2 senior pros, and 3 kids. So he's walking into a much better situation injury wise.
He is, yeah.
And if everyone there is fit, then the only players that aren't fit are Vicario, Maddison, Kulu, Benson, and Davis. That's it, 5.
And Odegaard.
Sorry, and
Odegaard
6, yeah. So
there's talks that Bentancur might be back. Like I don't know. You know, it's like during the international window, it all goes a bit quiet on team news. But you're right. Either way, in the last game, we did have a full bench. I think the youngest player on the bench was Sosa, right? But other than that, it was a full squad of pros. Plus now apparently Kudus is going to be back fit and somebody else is back as well. So look, he's got more to pick from. Again,
Bergvall, did I? Forgot Bergvall. There's another one.
Yeah, Bergvall's back. Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting, right? If he does get the job, to see what he does. And how long is he going to have with the players? Like, do we know when they're back? He's definitely going to have that full week before the game, isn't he?
Back by Thursday. I think by Thursday, latest Friday this week. So he's going to have 9 days before the match. So
he's got some time to breathe some feel-good factor into them, right?
Yeah. It's not like he's got an FA Cup quarter-final that he's got to just do whatever he's got to do in a short space of time and just throw players in without.
Yeah.
But the difference here is that he knows the Premier League. When he joins initially with Brighton, he didn't know the Premier League, and he lost 4, I think, of the first 5. And
I don't think he won in his first 6 for Brighton, or 5 or something like that. I don't know. I don't think that's got any relevance to us, but yes, yeah.
No, it hasn't got any relevance. You saw that with Tudor. The guy came in completely blind, not used to playing with the intensity that the Premier League brings. The plus here is that Zerbi knows the Premier League. He knows players, and he's got experience of it. So, for me, it took me at the end of the day. Listen, he still hasn't signed, but it took me time to get my head around it. And you look at. I mean, I was being told McAllister, Liverpool, says that his biggest influence as a manager-wise is not Klopp, it's De Zerbi. So it's interesting. It's interesting. So we'll wait and see if he signs.
It's interesting. Yeah, a big up to my man Chris. How you doing, Chris? Hope you're well, buddy. He said, "I'll nail my colours to the mast now. 7 games keeps us up. Leaves after 10 games following a summer of disappointment in the transfer window, not getting the players he wants, rinse, repeat." Now, Lubo, this is a subject we need to talk about, and I'm not going to go forever tonight, but this is a subject, I think that's really, really very interesting. Is aside from which manager it is that signs, the telltale is always going to be what autonomy are they going to give the manager in the window, and what sort of players will we be able to get in the window? Because you can bring in a manager that plays De Zerbi's way, but that also means you've got to buy in players that play that way. So I guess the summer's going to be a really interesting, again, we say this every window, but this window is going to be really interesting to see. All right, they've talked a great game all year, haven't they? They've talked a great game about we've got big plans, we've got big players lined up. Is De Zerbi going to be different
next season? Where are we playing next season? That's the thing. So I forgot Tell as well, didn't I? There's another one. We've got about 22 pros, I think. So you got Tell as well as Richie and Moani up front.
Yeah, that'll be enough. That will be enough to keep you up. If you win 3 and draw 2.
Yeah, God, yeah. That'll be
enough. Because if we do that, by the way, what that means is that West Ham would have to win 3 and draw 3 just to match us.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think they've got some tough games, haven't they? I think they've got Everton. I think they've got Arsenal. They've got 1 or 2 other difficult ones. Wolves isn't going to be easy for them. Yeah, Wolves have got to play with a bit of form.
Yeah, they're just not very good away. Wolves, I think, is the concern. But I think, look, somebody made a really good point yesterday and said, for all the talk about how many points we need, literally what we've got to do is, as long as we get the same amount of points or more than West Ham, we're okay. So if they get 5 and we get 5, we stay up. Right. Yeah. The worry is going to be is if West Ham do string a couple of wins together, which I don't know who they've got after Wolves, but then you worry, right? If West Ham do string a couple, then you worry. But yeah,
Wolves got a point at our place, and did they get points at Arsenal? Was it Arsenal?
I thought they lost. Didn't they lose at Arsenal in the last minute? I seem to remember them scoring late and then conceding late as well. At the Emirates.
There was another game they got a very good away point at. I think I'm trying to remember.
Let's see what their away form this season. Here we go. So this is Premier League. This is the away form table. Okay, Wolves have got 5 points away from home all year. They're bottom, and they've scored 7 and conceded 23.
Okay. But what about recently, since the turning form?
There you go. So Wolves in the league away from home. Here we go. So they drew at Brentford, their last game. They got a good point at Brentford.
That was a good point.
Then they won 2 games at home, which was Villa and Liverpool. They lost away 1-0 to Palace with 10 men. Drew with Arsenal at home. Drew away at Forest.
Okay.
So their last away games actually draw at Brentford, lost to Palace 1-0, and drew with Forest. So it's unpredictable, but I'm preparing for the worst. I'm preparing for myself that West Ham win it. And that's the mindset has got to be that we've got to win games. It can't be we are just sitting here and expecting West Ham to keep losing games of football, right?
No. Well, they follow Wolves at home with Palace away, Everton at home, Brentford away. Then they've got May going into the 9th of May, Arsenal at home, Newcastle away, Leeds at home. So it's not easy. It's not easy. And you look at Forest, they got Villa, Burnley, both at home, Sunderland away, Chelsea away, Newcastle at home, United away, Bournemouth at home. So Forest have got it's not so easy for Forest either. Yeah,
everyone's going to be a Wolverhampton Wanderers fan in about how many days? Is it 9 days, 10 days they play? Yeah, they play on the Friday night, don't they? Next Friday they play. Next Friday.
Well, that's right. They got some. They're away to West Ham, and then they're away to Leeds. So.
The thing is, Wolfie always says this, right? He says that there are games that will always throw up anomalies at this time of the season. He said the teams you expect the bottom clubs to beat, it's normally not. It's normally a bigger team they beat or they pull off a shock. But look, essentially, whatever West Ham do, we need to match, and if we do that, we will stay up.
That's it.
And I know that sounds negative. Listen. In an ideal world, De Zerbi comes in and we win 3 on the bounce and we go, God, that's phew, let's breathe a sigh of relief. But
Yes.
Until we get that win under the belt, it's difficult to predict 3 in a row, right? So, but hey, stranger things have happened. He could come in, Sunderland away, Brighton at home, 6 points, and we go, hang on, this is all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think, listen, we had like a new manager bounce with Frank. We had the opposite with Tudor, and now we need to get back and have that same bounce as we had with Frank with Zerbi. And if we do, listen, it's the first win's important. 13 games. What's today? 30th. We're 2 days over 3 months since a win in the league. That's horrendous.
How many days?
93 days.
Is it?
And what's today? Monday? 92. I think Palace was on the
How
Sunday.
many days? The 28th?
92 days. 13 weeks and 13 weeks yesterday that we beat Palace.
Me asking Google, it's gone forward. It said 273 days until December the 28th. I'm like, no, last December the 28th. 270. It feels like 273 days, Lubo, since a league win. But yeah, we need. Look, it's strange. Football is a funny way of doing these things to us, doesn't it? Football. It's one of those things. Lose to Sunderland, and all of a sudden, the fanfare and the furore of a new manager dies very quickly. But hey, go to Sunderland, nick 3 points, and the feel-good factor going into a home game against Brighton, with De Zerbi against his old club. It's just difficult.
A draw would be a decent result at Sunderland. Yeah,
depending on what West Ham. But if West Ham beat Wolves, we're 2 points behind them.
Okay, but that's just 1 game out of 7. We'll be 1 point behind. We'll be 1 point behind them. Draw, and we're 1 point behind West Ham if they win.
Yeah.
If they win, for me, you may see 2 draws. Both West Ham and Spurs will draw. In which case, we're still a point clear, 6 to go, and they're now we're then both 3 and 3 at the moment. They're 4 and 3. We're 3 and 4 home and away. So
yeah,
listen, it's going to be tight. It's not going to. We're going to need to see over the next few weeks. But I am confident he'll get something out of this team. A team that can be third after 9 games has got to be able to give more than what we've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think for me, if De Zerbi comes in, we get behind him, keep us up, and then we play the game in the summer. We all play the game of ins and outs and what's going to happen. But what we know is we need a big summer. I know the World Cup's on, but we're gonna need a big summer, and we're gonna have to allow De Zerbi to make decisions. And fans, if that upsets them with players that he doesn't want to keep, then that's fine, or players he does want to keep. But, I said earlier in the show, Lou, but I only want to go for another 5 minutes. But I said earlier in the show, he needs time. Whoever it is, it doesn't matter if it's De Zerbi, insert name of manager. We need some time with this next manager. It cannot be another in and out job in 6 months. It needs some time and some backing, doesn't it?
Listen, it's. I think the fans realise now. Yeah, we're 17th again, 17th last season. If fans don't realise that this is not a one transfer window fix it job.
Yeah.
Everyone will realise it. I think everybody's forgot. I think this is the last 2 or 3 years has taken away any thoughts we had that we're up there after, like after Madrid, after the Poch era. We were top for a short period under Jose. We were top 3 and 4 with Conte, and since then it's all gone to pieces. I think fans will now give. Listen, fans haven't got a choice. It's the club have now got to hold their nerve. First thing we've got to do is survive, and then with survival, obviously there'll be a hell of a lot more money to spend on players. And then they've got to say, right, okay, what do we need for this squad? How many new players do we need in this squad? And you've also got to get rid of the players with bad mentality. And you know what? Zerbi will sort that out quickly. He'll see who's with him. He'll see who's giving 110% in training. He'll see who's there early for training, who's there last out, who's putting in extra training. He'll see all of these things. And that will transfer over to match day. And all of a sudden you'll see a team that are galvanized. And that's as fans, that's all you can hope for. Because the effort levels that we've seen have just been going down and down. And these players need a boost. They need a confidence lift. And I just think the guy is, whatever you say about Zerbi, a lot of people talk about him being volatile. The guy's got charisma. He'll walk in and he'll get the place buzzing. And he'll lift people with his personality. And for me, I'm just looking at it for 7 games. That's it. And if we go down, do we think he'll stay? There may even be a release clause that he'll walk.
I can't imagine him.
And then we're back to square one, and then we're in the Championship. Then you're looking at different players with different price points, and then it's a whole different ball game. And then and then the accountants, all their cost sheets for option B all come into play, and it's a different ball game, and then it's quite worrying.
Yeah.
No,
I completely agree. Look, I think all Spurs fans, whether you want Zerbi, whether you don't, we've all got to get behind him and hope he keeps us up. Like at the moment, you've got to ask yourself, is your hatred or negativity towards the manager worth more than Spurs' survival in the Premier League? And I don't think it is. So listen, if he joins, and I'm sure he'll join tomorrow, I feel like there's been too much noise today for it not to happen tomorrow. But we have seen circumstances before where suddenly you get the breaking news that the deal is off, and it wouldn't surprise you with Spurs, would it? But look, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'll be back tomorrow. I've not done too much live today. I was a bit tired today and a busy day. Lubo, thanks for jumping on for the last 45 minutes or so. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Let me do a quick super chat. Big up to JB Macaulay, who said, I think the Premier League has changed since Zerbi left. He will need to adjust, and he doesn't have much time. Come on, you Spurs down under. And Jay, what I would say about this is I think that when we're saying adjust, I don't think the next 7 games is about his adjustment to his system. I think that's going to be more of a summer type thing to do to implement his style. For me, I think we're just hoping that he's good enough to come in, get something out of these players, grab a couple of wins and keep us in the Premier League. But, mate, let's see how he adjusts to life at Tottenham, because many have failed.
I think the other thing that Jay's alluding to is the fact that it's far more physical. It's far more about running. It's far more about winning your duels, set pieces, long balls. It's, the flair part has gone out of it, hasn't it? The maverick part, and unfortunately the football in the Premier League this year has probably been the most boring it's been for many years.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a tough watch away from Tottenham. I think most of the games are really a tough watch for me. By the way, big up to Phil Coys for the super sticker. Really appreciate you, buddy. We've had a really good super sticker train tonight, people. So thank you very much for all of your support. Guys, I'm going to send you over to Football's 12th Man podcast. I think maybe Deji might be on with Dan Potts and whufc and Charlie. So you've got quite a good panel on there discussing all things football. When you get there, just say fhtv raid or Savva raid. Please subscribe to the Spurs 5. Subscribe to me as well. And I'll be back tomorrow. Will it be the morning? Who knows? I might wait and see when Zerbi is announced and go live at that time rather than in the morning. And then again, if it's in the afternoon, because otherwise we are repeating ourselves quite a lot. So guys, let's get behind the signing. I don't think we can afford to start another manager's tenure with negativity. I feel like it needs to really be just getting behind him, and then we can all have a bitch and a moan in the summer about what the club do. Lubo, thank you very much. Guys, girls, take care. Remember, FHTV raid or Savva raid, whichever one you want to do. And Enoch out. And as always, come on,
And new Spurs.
Spurs.